Hello again, class. So today we are going to be doing Unit 1, Lesson 7, and this is going to be talking about our transition from parallelograms into triangles. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a quick review over one of our old lessons that we did in Open Up. So here we see a little bit ago how we had a parallelogram here, and when we were trying to decompose it and then compose it into just a rectangle to solve for the area, we saw that if I do this, I can make a very clean right triangle right there. I just cut that part off and then I moved it over and now I have a rectangle. So we can do that with any parallelogram that we see. We can make a right triangle and then move it over. So we're going to continue with that as we move on into today's lesson and the next couple of lessons. But I wanted to do that as a quick review. Also, we have a new term that we're going to start using today. So whenever we have a new term, it's always good to look at our vocabulary. And when we look at our vocabulary, that is always here on the home page. Scroll down here to our digital notebook. So I'm going to open up our digital notebook for this class. Come down here to Unit 1. And we have a bunch of our vocabulary terms to start off with. So we've already talked about several of these, but the new one that I would like to cover today is quadrilateral. Now, several of you have probably learned this word from elementary, but it's always good to review. So a quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Okay, so when you hear that, we know what it talks about. The quadrilateral is just a four-sided polygon, quadrilateral. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Canvas, and we're going to look at today's task. So we got a couple ways to do that. We could go to the announcements in the playlist, or we can just go into module and then click today's date, which will be September the 10th. That's the lesson that we're on today. And then I'm going to look at our task for today, a tale of two triangles. So in this one, it says two polygons are identified if they match up exactly when placed on one on top of each other. Draw a line to decompose each of the following polygons into two identical triangles if possible. So right there we see if possible. So some of these will not be able to be split into two. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to start with A as the example. I'm going to use my tool up at the top. I'm going to select my line. So I'm going to start here and then go right here. Now, if you don't want to use it with an arrow, that's fine. You could also just hand draw it. I'm going to undo that one. I could do it this way. And as you can see, if you select on that tool, when you draw your line, it automatically makes it into a straight line rather than having it be a little squiggly from your fingers. So that's always a good option to do. So here you can see that I have just decomposed this into two completely equal sections from this square. So now I'm going to try this over here in shape C. Now, if you will notice, shape C, this is a quadrilateral because it does have four sides, 2, 3, 4, but it is not a parallelogram. Because we know that from our definition before, I'm going to go back to our digital notebook. I still have it open. We know that a parallelogram is a four-sided polygon with two sets of parallel sides. So this shape right here in C, oh, I do not know what happened, guys. I'm sorry about that. This shape right here in C does not have parallel sides. These are not parallel sides, so therefore this is not a parallelogram. And you can try all you want to make this split evenly. But we can see here that this side and this side are not even. So that won't work. Can't split it evenly that way. I can try and split it here. But clearly this is greater than this. So there is no way that I could draw. I mean, I could even try and do this in the middle, but still, this side does not equal this side. So there's no way for me to split this to where it would be two equal triangles. So you're going to have to continue that with the other ones and see which ones work, okay? So the biggest thing to remember when we are doing this, and you're going to be asked some other questions about this later, is which polygons can be cut into two identical triangles. Well, the only ones that can be are parallelograms, okay? Now, we can see, going back to our digital notebook, we can see where some of those shapes overlap. All of these in here are parallelograms. Rhombuses are parallelograms. Squares are parallelograms. Rectangles are parallelograms. All of those are parallelograms. Or you can just have basic parallelograms that are always slanted and at angles, okay? So all of those can be equally cut into two angles, just like we saw on today's example, okay? They can all be cut into two identical triangles, okay? So what I need everybody to do is to complete this task, submit it, and then please work on your cool down. Remember the thing that we're taking away from today. The only types of polygons that can be decomposed into two identical triangles are parallelograms. That is the biggest takeaway from today. All right, guys, thank you very much. Please complete your work, and I will look at it later. Thank you.